Good evening, and I welcome you students. We started with the natural resources, and last lecture we have explained to you what are the natural resources which we have, students. You have talked of land, you have talked of water, air, and you have also given that there are living things, there are non-living things which are there on earth, and there is a blanket of atmosphere on the earth which makes the life possible. And we talked of important life supporting zone of the earth where atmosphere, hydrosphere and lithosphere interact, what we called as a biosphere. So we have discussed all these things. What is a biosphere, students? What is a biosphere? Bio means what? Life supporting zone of the earth. Which is the life supporting zone of the earth? Where the hydrosphere, lithosphere and the atmosphere interact. And what we talked about, living things constitute biotic component of the biosphere, and non-living things are abiotic components of the biospheres which we have. And we have discussed in the last lecture air. We have told you what air is: a mixture of gases, and you know that our respiration system requires oxygen, so that the cells, eukaryotic cells and prokaryotic cells, they need oxygen to break down the glucose molecules to get the energy. Unless that process takes place, they will not exist. They will not be breakdown of the glucose, and hence the life may not be there. So this is the most important part. We have explained to you also that there's a carbon dioxide fixation. How the carbon dioxide is fixed in the atmosphere, students? What is your answer? CO2 fixation is important point. CO2 fixation. What is CO2 fixation?
Sir, when we exhale, it is the carbon dioxide is used by the plants for making food through photosynthesis.
Where else this is carbon is used? Where else the carbon dioxide is consumed, students? We have talked about marine animals. What they are doing? They use carbonates dissolved in seawater to make their shells. So the result is exhaling of CO2 and inhaling, taking of the CO2 in the morning, in the sun energy by the plants. The CO2 amount is fixed. In fact, there are so many cycles which are going on in our atmosphere, earth and atmosphere, which keeps the life possible. And now we're coming to another important topic already on the screen, student, the role of atmosphere in the climate control. Atmosphere, do we have an atmosphere, student?
Yes, sir.
The atmosphere which you have, what you are saying, there is an air, which we discussed is a mixture of gases. And you know how much kilometer this is extending on earth. This atmosphere, there are different type zones. And the important point is the role of the air which we have in the atmosphere. So atmosphere is covering the earth like a blanket. You know that our atmosphere, students, is like a blanket on the earth. Why do we say it is a blanket, student? Are you using blanket in the winter?
Yes, sir.
Why do you use it? What the blanket does?
It prevents, it helps us from it.
Blanket. Why do we use blankets, student? Why do we use blankets in the winter? What is happening? That we are able to maintain the temperature constant. We keep ourselves warm in the night, or the temperature is dropping too much in the night, students. What is happening? When the sun is shining, temperature is rising. And when the sun sets, what happens? The temperature will fall. So temperature variation is going to take place. Now the question is, student, what is in the atmosphere? Mainly you have air. Is air a good or a bad conductor of heat, student?
Bad conductor.
It is a bad conductor of heat. What it means? If it is a good conductor, then what will happen? It will immediately get hot, and it will, what will happen? It's a good conductor, heat will be conducted through it. Heat will be conducted through it. So bad conductors means does not allow the heat to conduct through it. So what is the result of that? What is the result of this? Air in the atmosphere is a bad conductor of heat. It helps to maintain the Earth's temperature by preventing the sudden increase in the temperature during the day. What is happening, student? During the day, around 12 noon, the sun is nearest to the earth and it is going to be strong. There will be, temperature should be high. So what should happen? There will be a sudden increase in temperature. There will be increase in temperature during the day. What is happening? There is a sudden, I am saying sudden increase in temperature. And what will happen during the night? During the night, student, when sun sets, after the sunset, what will happen? There will be sudden decrease in temperature. Now this variation is not going to be good for, health or for the living organisms. If there is a sudden increase, sudden decrease in the temperature, then what the atmosphere does, it keeps the average temperature of the earth fairly steady during the day. Okay? This atmosphere, students, is like a thermostat. It keeps the average temperature of earth, average temperature of the earth steady during the day and night. The average temperature almost steady, and during the whole year also it maintains that temperature. So it prevents a sudden increase in temperature and sudden fall in the temperatures. And the result of this is that the temperature is almost steady during the days and during the year. So that is very important. It prevents a sudden increase in temperature during the day because air is a bad conductor. And also when sun is at it, what will happen? The earth will get cooled faster. Earth will get cooled faster than the air. It slows down the escape of heat into the outer atmosphere. It traps the heat. During when the sun sets out. And this is important, that this atmosphere is a blanket and therefore is like a thermostat. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
It also slows down the escape of heat in the outer space. This was a question asked to the students in the exam. Explain the role of atmosphere in climate control. Atmosphere covers the earth like a blanket. Air is a bad conductor of heat. Atmosphere keeps the average temperature of the earth fairly steady during the day and even during the course of the whole year. Atmosphere prevents sudden increase in temperature during daylight hours, and during the night slows down the escape of heat into the outer space. So this is the story of earth. And moon is a satellite of earth. Okay? The temperature on the earth is determined by the sun, distance of the sun from the earth, right?
Yes, sir.
So the moon is about the same distance from the sun. Distance of moon is almost, I'm saying, same as that of the earth from the sun. Okay? But what is the problem in the moon, student? Does moon has an atmosphere?
No, sir.
Moon has no atmosphere. This is the important point. If there was atmosphere on the moon, life would be there, because the temperature would be then maintained just as it is on Earth. But with no atmosphere, temperature on the moon ranges from, what is the variation of the temperature on the moon? Minus 190 degrees Celsius to 110 degrees Celsius. Now tell me, 0 degree is where you start getting ice.
Yes, sir.
So when the sun will sets, minus 190, and when sun rises, how much? 110 degree. What is the boiling point of water? 100.
100 degrees Celsius.
And tell me, then is any life possible?
No, sir.
So that is the reason no life exists. Organisms cannot survive this variation of temperatures, such a low temperature, such a high temperature. And that's the main problem. But we are having an atmosphere which acts as a blanket, which keeps the temperature almost steady during the whole day, during the whole year. At certain points on Earth, you have seen how much temperature variation is there. You have seen purely ice. And what type of life is there? Are we having human beings there? There are only expeditions going on to that side, Atlantic. You have seen North Pole star and South Pole star. What is happening? Students, the temperature is important factor if we have to live. And you know what is the range of temperature in which we can survive, or the organisms can survive. Okay. What do you mean by climate system, student? You are saying there is a climate over a period of time. You are saying monsoon season have come, rainy seasons have come. Over a period of time, you say these are winter system, temperature is dropping, and then you say, oh, it's summer. What is happening? What type of climate system is decided by which factor, student? What is the story here? Here is a climate system which is made up of biotic and abiotic factors. What are those? See, there is a sun, source of energy, and solar radiation, terrestrial radiation, atmosphere and land. There is an atmosphere and land. And here you see water, which is coming from rain, other points. Water is there, nitrogen, oxygen, CO2, O3, aerosols, so much, and clouds, precipitation. And here you have oceans, ice, ocean coupling, atmosphere, ocean coupling, changes of ocean basin shape, salinity, etc., evaporation taking place, winds, atmosphere, ice coupling, changes of atmospheric composition, industries throwing all this smoke, changes of land, features, orography, vegetation, albedo, etc. All this is a picture of the climate system. Climate system, students. What we are saying now. Activity. Measure the temperature of the following. Take a beaker. You have a beaker, student, and it is full of water. Beaker full of water. A beaker full of soil is a beaker, student. Okay. What do you have? Soil or sand. Okay. Number 2, students. Third, a closed bottle containing a thermometer, student. Here is a bottle, student. Put a thermometer in the bottle. This bottle is closed. Thermometer. thermometer. ठीक है. Keep them bright in sunlight for 3 hours. 1, 2, 3. Sunlight. For 3 hours. Now measure the temperature of all the three. Also take the temperature reading in the shade in some time. What you are recording? Temperature. In the sun, and then temperature in shade. What do you mean by in shade?
Where there is no direct sunlight.
No direct sunlight, is there some trees or whatever it is? First question, is the temperature reading more in activity 1 or 2? Where is temperature more, in 1 or 2? Answers. 1. What do you think temperature will be more in a 1 or 2?
Sir, 2.
Temperature more in 2. Why? Reason?
Because the soil heats up faster.
The soil absorbs more heat than water. Or one more thing we know, the specific heat of water is very high. So the temperature of the soil will get hotter faster than water. That's what we are saying. Okay? Soil, sand gets hotter. Okay? Faster than water. To be more thing we know, the specific heat of water is high. This you will see if you have learned, you will learn in 10th. Water has a higher specific heat. Have you heard about specific heat? I am just saying at this point we will learn all this in our next class. Okay. So this is answered question 1. Is the temperature reading more in activity 1 or 2? In 2. Temperature more. Based on the biofinding, which would be become hot faster, the land or the sea? What is the answer?
On land.
Land will become, which will would become hot faster. Land. Land will become hot faster. During the sunshine, you know, the land becomes hot faster than the water. Sea doesn't see the specific heat of water is very high. The sea is not going to heat up. Okay, third one is answered. 2 is answered. Is the temperature reading of temperature air in shade the same? What is your answer? Is the temperature reading of the temperature of air in shade is the same as the temperature of sand or water? No. Okay, what do you think is the reason for this?
Because sir, there is no direct sunlight there, so it will not get heat.
Question, what is the question? Is the temperature reading of the temperature of air in shade the same as the temperature of sand and water? He is comparing air with sand and water. And we have already told you the air will not get that much heated. Sand will get heated more than air. Water is the least, because the heat is becoming faster where mainly in sand. What do you think is the reason for this? We already said this specific heat is the reason which we know water has a higher specific heat. Why does the temperature have to measure in shade? Next question. Will you measure temperature in shade or in direct sunlight? if you have to perform an experiment, will you like to record the temperature in shade or in direct sunlight?
Sir, in sunlight.
Why? Not, that is not the correct answer, in shade. Because in direct sunlight, what will happen? The amount of heat is changing. It is not constant. And the temperature reading will start variations. Temperature readings will not be constant. They will change. They will show changes because the heat energy of the sun is increasing, decreasing. So that's not constant, student. Also, but in shade, you will see something, at least one reading. Here, the readings will keep on changing faster. There will be faster changes in that temperature readings. What is the next one here? Is the temperature of air in closed glass vessel bottle same as the temperature in open air? What is the answer for this, student? What is happening? Is the temperature of air in closed glass vessel. This is closed glass vessel. Is the same as in open air. If this is open air, is the temperature same?
No, sir.
Why? No. There is no need of this using open air. This is open air. Okay. If I put a thermometer here, student, this reading is not going to be the same. Which will be hotter? If you think, what will happen here? Here, what is happening in open air? The air is moving. This air is moving, student. And what is happening here? There is a glass. As soon as the sunlight enters in, what will happen? It will increase the temperature. And then what will happen? This heat will get trapped. This heat will get trapped, student, inside the closed glass vessel. Glass will not allow the heat to go faster, student. What will be the result of that? What is this effect known as? You know, the heat is getting trapped inside this. Just as air, what it air does, once the sun sets, the heat is more in the ground, but when it tries to come, it acts as a blanket, does not allow the heat to escape through it. The temperature is almost maintained. What do you call this as? Do you ever come across this phenomenon in daily life? What this is the name of this phenomenon? You have heard about greenhouse effect. You have seen carbon dioxide acting as a keeping the temperature of the earth warmer.
Yes, sir.
And many farmhouses, you have seen that they are having glass walls, plantation. You can see that they are using this greenhouse effect. Okay. Activities, no, why we do that? Because certain questions are being asked in 9th, 10th, and many other classes now from the experiments, from the activities, because they help us understand the phenomena which we are experiencing, whether it is whatever we are saying, the flow of the winds from higher pressure to lower pressure, or the rainfalls. All these can be understood by sometimes the activities, experiments which can be designed students at our home and in the science labs, and we can do it. All right, what is the conclusion coming, student? What is the conclusion, students? What are the activities we are doing? Sand and water do not heat up at the same rate. Sand heats up faster, ठीक है, than water. And what do you think will be the rates of cooling? Will be the same? What will happen?
No, sir.
Then which will cool faster?
Sand.
Sand will cool faster. Water almost maintains the same constant temperature at the coastal areas. This is what is happening. Sand, rate of cooling of sand will rate of cooling of sand. What we say, sand will cool faster than water. So sand will cool faster than water. Can we think of an experiment to test the prediction? Can you think of an experiment, student, to test this? You can make this. Take sand and take water and see what is the result of this. Now coming to another interesting thing, student. The movement of air, winds. Winds, you are aware of the winds blowing, student? What is the movement of air called? Movement of air caused by temperature or pressure difference is called wind. You have seen blowing of the wind, student. Why the wind blows? There must be temperature variation or pressure variation. Because if temperature becomes higher, what will happen? High temperature, air will heat up. Then what will happen? Air will rise. Air will move up. Hot air moves up. And what will happen if hot air moves up? At that point, the pressure will become less or more. So what is happening? There is a movement of air caused by either temperature or pressure. The wind is due to differences in pressure. Wind is due to differences in temperature. And sea breezes and land breezes. There are sea breezes and land breezes. What do you mean by this? You know, wind is flowing. Here, for example, student, what is happening? The hot air is rising. The hot air, if this becomes hot, what will happen? This hot air, when the temperature is high, student, this air which is in contact with this earth crust, ground, it becomes hot and then it will rise. It will rise as the sun is shining. And what will happen? Then the air which is cool, what is happening? The cool air is sinking. Cool air is sinking. Why it is sinking, student? Because here what will happen? Once the air goes up, pressure becomes less here. And then what will happen? This from difference in pressure, higher pressure to lower pressure. Air will flow from higher pressure to lower pressure. What is happening here? This is cold. Here it is cold, here it is hot. So hot means low pressure. Pressure is less, cold. So what will happen then? Wind will flow from high pressure to low pressure. High pressure to low pressure. Pressure difference. Pressure difference. Another interesting thing, what is happening? This is a land and this is the ocean. Ocean. This is a land, student. Morning sun. The water will get less heated as compared to land. Land, it gets heated faster. We have seen that the specific heat of water is very high. As it becomes warm here, hotter, the warm air will rise up. Warm air will rise up, student. Pressure will become less. And from here, from the sea, this is a cold cold air, so a breeze will flow from sea towards this side. Sea breeze. What is this? Sea breeze. If you have gone to the coastal area, you see that they are maintain almost constant temperature. This breeze continues. It flows from the ocean to the land. So sea breezes are there and land breezes are there. Questions are asked student, the causes of movement of air. Question as we say is what are the causes of movement of air, or what we say winds? Why do the winds blow? Causes the movement of air, and what decides whether the movement will be in the form of a gentle breeze, a strong wind, or a terrible storm? And what welcomes rains? How you get rain, student? All these phenomena are the result of changes that take place in our atmosphere. These are due to temperature and pressure variation, we told you, due to take place in our atmosphere due to heating of the air. Heating of air. Formation of water vapor. ठीक है? Water vapor is formed due to heating of water bodies. How the water vapors is formed? Water, you have oceans or lakes. This water on heating, sun will rise. What will happen? They will become water vapor. Water vapor. ठीक है? The atmosphere can be heated below by the radiation that is reflected back or re-radiated by the land or water bodies. The atmosphere can be heated by radiation that is re-radiated. This land becomes hot. So what will happen? It will give the radiation. It will reflect back. It will radiation by the land or water bodies. On being heated, convection currents are set up in the air. What will happen? You have studied in physics. Convection currents will be set up in air. In order to gain understanding of the nature of convection, let us perform the following activity. Some activity in order to understand the convection currents which will be set up, student. Convection currents. So there is a heating of the air, formation of the water vapor, and because of these you experience, student, breezes, winds, storms, or even the rains. Activity, let us see the activity, what it is saying. Place a candle in a beaker or wide mouth bottle and light it. What is this, student? Candle? This is a candle, student. Okay. Light up. Light. Place a candle or a wide mouth bottle and light it. First number. Light an incense stick and take it to the mouth of the above bottle. What is this? अगरबत्ती आपने देखी है?
Yes, sir.
तो ये अगरबत्ती जलाई है स्टूडेंट हमने यहाँ पर. अगरबत्ती में क्या ये स्मोक सा निकलता? Which way does the smoke flow when incense stick is kept near the edge of the mouth? अब ये इसके एज के माउथ पे रखी तो बताओ कि ये पहला क्वेश्चन आ गया. Which way does the smoke flow? स्मोक किस रास्ते पे चलता स्टूडेंट? कहां पे जा रहा स्मोक, किस वे में? क्या स्मोक नीचे जाता है या ऊपर जा रहा?
सर अपवर्ड्स.
अपवर्ड जा रहा है. तो ऐसा क्यों जा रहा है अपवर्ड? वाई? ये देख रहे हो ऐसे ऐसे स्मोक ऊपर जा रहा है. तो यहाँ पे जो स्मोक था अब उसने इसके ऊपर जाना शुरू कर दिया. व्हाट इज द रीजन? व्हाट डू यू थिंक हैज हैपेंड? Which way does the smoke flow when the incense stick is kept near the edge of the mouth? Near the edge of the mouth. पहले तो near the edge of the mouth बोला है. ये near जब रखूंगा तब क्या होगा? Or which way does smoke flow when incense stick is kept little above the candle? Little above the candle. दो है, एक तो यहाँ पर और एक यहाँ पर. पहले केस में क्या होगा? पहले केस में अपवर्ड नहीं गया था, क्या हाँ गया था उसमें? पहले तो ऐसे ऐसे जा रहा था सब जगह, ठीक है, ऐसे स्प्रेड हो रहा था. अब यहां पर क्या हुआ? विच वे डज द स्मोक फ्लो व्हेन इंसेंस स्टिक इज केप्ट लिटिल अबव. अब क्या होगा? यहां पर हॉट एयर है, ये हीट कर रही है एयर को. हॉट एयर क्या करती है? तो हॉट एयर विल राइज अप. जब एयर हॉट हो जाती है वो क्या करती है? वो राइज करेगी अब. तो जब ये राइज करेगी तो इसको क्या करेगी? ये सीधा ऊपर ले जाएगी, ठीक है. तो हॉट एयर क्या करेगी? इसको पुश करेगी, अपवर्ड जाएगा ये, ठीक है. हॉट एयर आ गई. तो हॉट एयर कैसे मूव कर रही है? Which way does the smoke flow when incense stick is kept in other regions? अदर रीजन्स कौन से हैं? जब इसके ऊपर नहीं रखी मैंने, तो ये क्या शो कर रहा है? एक्सपेरिमेंट टेल मी व्हाट वी आर ट्राइंग टू रिवील स्टूडेंट, व्हाट दीस एक्टिविटीज आर गोइंग टू शो. जो एयर के करंट्स हैं स्टूडेंट, दे आर बीइंग कास्ड बाय अनइवन हीटिंग ऑफ द एयर. जो एयर करंट सेटअप होते हैं, they are caused by uneven heating of air. कहीं एयर ज्यादा हॉट है और कहीं कम है, तो क्या होगी? हॉट एयर क्या करती है? वो राइज करती है. हॉट एयर जो है वो राइज करती है स्टूडेंट. तो डिफरेंसेस इन विच हॉट एंड कोल्ड एयर मूव. So when air is heated by radiation from heated land or water, it rises. जो भी hot air होती है स्टूडेंट, if it is heated by किसे हीट कर रहे हैं? Heated by land, then what will happen? It will rise up. It rises up. It rises up. So when land gets heated faster than water, air over land would also be heated faster than the air over water bodies. तो अनइवन हीटिंग ऑफ एयर होती है. अगर ये लैंड मेरी स्टूडेंट फास्टर हीट हो गई देन वाटर, तो यहां पर जो एयर है दैट इज आल्सो फास्टर हीटेड देन वाटर. तो ये कब होता है? जब सन होता है नून में, at the time of the morning when sun is there. जब सन होगा स्ट्रॉन्ग स्टूडेंट, तो ये जैसे नून का टाइम है या मॉर्निंग का टाइम है, तो इस टाइम क्या होगा? ये लैंड ज्यादा हीट है, यहाँ पे एयर फास्टर हीट होगी, तो ये राइज कर जाएगी अप देन वाटर. तो एयर करंट्स विल बी प्रोड्यूस्ड. और जब सन नहीं है उस समय क्या होगा? लैंड जो है वो, लैंड पे फिर क्या चेंज आई? इट बिकम्स कूलर फास्टर देन वाटर. तो अब जो एयर के करंट्स हैं वो रिवर्स हो जाएंगे. What we are trying to say, let us see. The patterns revealed by smoke show the directions in which hot and cold air move. What are the directions of hot air and cold air? Cold air. When air is heated by radiation from the heated land or water, it rises. Hot air जब हो जाएगी तो ये rise करेगी स्टूडेंट. But since land gets heated faster than water, air over the land would also be heated faster than the air over water bodies. So if we look at the situation in coastal regions during the day, The air above the land gets heated faster and start rising. Coastal regions कौन से हैं? जहाँ पे सी है, पानी है, समुद्र है स्टूडेंट, ठीक है. Faster and start rising. As this air rises, region of low pressure is created, and the air over the sea moves into this area of low pressure. तो एयर क्या कर रही है? लो प्रेशर से मूव करेगी. ये हमने एक पिक्चर स्टूडेंट दिखाई थी अभी आपको, ये देख रहे हैं, ये लैंड है, दिस इज द सी. ये डे टाइम पर क्या हुआ? लैंड ज्यादा हीट अप हो गई एज कंपेयर टू वाटर. दिस एयर इज वार्मर देन दिस एयर, दिस विल राइज अप. अब ये तो ऊपर चले गई तो प्रेशर क्या हो गया? यहाँ पर लेस हो गया. तो व्हाट विल हैपन? देयर विल बी ए सी ब्रीज, या ठंडी हवा चलेगी. यहां से एयर सी ब्रीज होगी. कोल्डर एयर है, ये इस साइड आ रही है, यहाँ पे प्रेशर कम हो गया, प्रेशर कम हो गया. तो इसे क्या हो गया? सी ब्रीज सेटअप हो गई. सी ब्रीज सेटअप हो गई स्टूडेंट. कब हुई है? डे टाइम पर. तो जब आप कोस्टल एरियाज में जाते हैं, सी बीचेस पे जाते हैं, डे टाइम पर भी वहां प्लेजेंट रहता है प्लेजेंट कि नहीं?
यस सर.
गर्मी नहीं लगती. तो ये सी ब्रीज सेटअप हो गई है. क्या हो गई? सी ब्रीज सेटअप हो गई. अब क्या होगा फिर? द सी मूव, ठीक है. अब लो प्रेशर इज क्रिएटेड, एयर मूव्स ओवर द सी moves into this area of low pressure. Movement of air from one region to other create winds. तो डे टाइम पर क्या हुआ आपका? डे टाइम पर क्या हुआ स्टूडेंट कि आपका प्रेशर लो हो गया. कहां पर? जहां पे लैंड है. तो फिर इसके ऊपर एयर जो है, एयर ओवर द सी, एयर ओवर द सी थी, जो सी के ऊपर थी, वो मूव्स करती है, मूव्स, ठीक है, टुवर्ड्स द लैंड, टुवर्ड्स द लैंड. तो इसी को ये क्या क्रिएट हो गई? विंड्स क्रिएट हो गई, विंड्स हो गई. ड्यूरिंग द डे डायरेक्शन ऑफ द विंड वुड बी फ्रॉम सी टू लैंड. तो ड्यूरिंग द डे क्या होगा स्टूडेंट? ये क्वेश्चन आया था. डायरेक्शन ऑफ विंड क्या, कहां से कहां होगी? ड्यूरिंग द डे डायरेक्शन ऑफ विंड विल बी फ्रॉम वेयर?
From sea to land.
Sea to land. Why? Because this air became hotter than that, so pressure is less here, pressure is more. The तो sea से land की तरफ wind blow कर रही है. At night क्या होगा? At night फिर क्या होगा स्टूडेंट? सन तो अब सेट हो गया, सन तो अब चले गया, नाइट हो गई. नाइट पे क्या होगा? लैंड विल कूल फास्टर, ठीक है. दोनों लैंड भी और वाटर कूल होने शुरू हो गए. तो लैंड कूल्स फास्टर देन वाटर, फास्टर देन वाटर. बोलो हुआ?
यस सर.
ठीक है. तो अब एयर जो है अबव वाटर जो है, अब एयर अबव वाटर जो है, यहाँ की जो एयर है ये वार्म है, वार्मर देन एयर अबव लैंड. बोलो सही है. तो अब विंड कहाँ की डायरेक्शन क्या हो जाएगी? एट नाइट विंड डायरेक्शन क्या हो जाएगी? लैंड टू
From land to sea.
सी. तो फिर टेम्परेचर ऑलमोस्ट मेंटेन हो जाएगा. क्या हो जाएगा? मेंटेन हो जाएगा. तो जो कोस्टल एरियाज होते हैं उनमें क्या होता है कि इस तरह से ये लैंड, सी टू लैंड, लैंड टू सी ब्रीज चलती रहती है. मॉर्निंग में कहाँ से चली? सी टू लैंड. और नाइट में कहाँ चली? लैंड टू सी. तो रिजल्ट ओवरऑल क्या हुआ? व्हाट इज द ओवरऑल रिजल्ट देन? बिकॉज ऑफ दीज ब्रीजेस द टेम्परेचर इज ऑलमोस्ट मेंटेन्ड. प्लेजेंट रहता है, सुबह भी और रात को भी प्लेजेंट रहता है टेम्परेचर. ना ज्यादा गर्मी ना ज्यादा सर्दी होती है. होती है?
यस सर.
ह्यूमिडिटी रहती है. अच्छा, हमें वी आर ट्राइंग टू अंडरस्टैंड स्टूडेंट द विंड्स व्हिच आर ब्लोइंग. विंड्स कैसे ब्लो होती हैं? On the basis of the above discussion, what can you say about the appearance of areas of low and high pressure in coastal areas at night? क्या कहना चाहते हैं फिर आप बताइए. अपीयरेंस ऑफ एरियाज ऑफ लो एंड हाई प्रेशर इन कोस्टल एरियाज एट नाइट। जो कोस्टल एरियाज है हमारे, व्हाट आर कोस्टल एरियाज, बताइए कौन से हैं कोस्टल एरियाज?
which are near to the sea.
नियर टू द सी। अच्छा, सी है तो लैंड और सी है, इधर लैंड है इधर सी है, नजदीक नजदीक है स्टूडेंट। तो क्या हमने ऑब्जर्व किया कि डे टाइम पर क्या हुआ, कहां से कहां विंड ने ब्लो किया?
Sea to land.
ये सी ब्रीज कहता हूं इसको मैं। तो सी ब्रीज हुई, मतलब जो विंड है स्टूडेंट वो सी से लैंड की तरफ गई। और नाइट पर क्या हुआ स्टूडेंट? लैंड ब्रीज हुई। लैंड ब्रीज मींस विंड विल ब्लो फ्रॉम
Land to sea.
लैंड टू सी। तो फिर प्रेशर वेरिएशन का भी क्या मतलब है? जहां पर हॉट है प्रेशर लेस है, ठीक है, और वेयर इट इज कोल्ड प्रेशर मोर है। तो अपीयरेंस ऑफ एरियाज ऑफ लो एंड हाई प्रेशर। तो मॉर्निंग में प्रेशर लो कहां पर है? लैंड पर।
Yes, sir.
यहाँ पे प्रेशर लो है मॉर्निंग में, डे टाइम पर। और नाइट पर लो प्रेशर कहां पर है?
Sea.
यहाँ पे लो प्रेशर। तो आपका जो एयर है वो मूव करेगी फ्रॉम हाई प्रेशर टू
Low pressure.
हाई प्रेशर टू लो प्रेशर, हाई प्रेशर टू लो प्रेशर मूव करेगी। तो विंड्स भी ऐसे ही बनती हैं, कोई भी विंड कैसे, अगर एक हाई प्रेशर एक लो है तो लो प्रेशर की तरफ विंड्स जाएंगी। अब प्रेशर वेरिएशन बहुत ज्यादा हो जाएगा तो क्या होगा, बड़ी स्ट्रॉन्ग विंड क्रिएट हो जाएगी। नंबर 1। नंबर 2, द डायरेक्शन इन विच एयर वुड फ्लो एट नाइट इन कोस्टल एरियाज। तो कौन सी डायरेक्शन में हमने लिख दिया एयर किस में फ्लो की? इन कोस्टल एरियाज में नाइट पर
Land to sea.
लैंड टू सी। तो यहाँ पर लैंड टू सी हुआ। Similarly, all the movements of air resulting in diverse atmospheric phenomena are caused by uneven heating of the atmosphere in different regions of the earth. तो अगर क्वेश्चन आता है कि जो मूवमेंट्स ऑफ एयर क्यों होती है, तो आंसर क्या है? द मूवमेंट्स ऑफ एयर, ये मैंने स्टार लगा दिया, इंपॉर्टेंट है। द मूवमेंट्स ऑफ एयर इन डिफरेंट regions of earth ठीक है, ठीक है, are due to caused by uneven heating of the atmosphere, are due to, एक फैक्टर बता रहा हूं, मेन फैक्टर भी तक है, ड्यू टू uneven heating of the atmosphere। कहीं एटमॉस्फेयर ज्यादा हीट हुआ और कहीं एयर कम हीट हुई। uneven heating, ये इंपॉर्टेंट वर्ड है, uneven heating। देयर आर अदर फैक्टर्स आल्सो। और फैक्टर कौन से हैं? अर्थ क्या रुकी हुई है? क्या अर्थ कोई रोटेट करती है? अर्थ कोई स्पिन करती है? वो कर रही है। ये भी सारी बातें पता लग गई कि अर्थ तो स्पिन करती है, ठीक है। तो अर्थ क्या क्या है? दूसरे फैक्टर कौन से हैं? अदर फैक्टर्स क्या हैं? व्हाट आर दी अदर फैक्टर्स स्टूडेंट्स? अर्थ तो आप कह रहे हैं स्टूडेंट रोटेशन करती है, वो तो करती है।
Yes, sir.
कितने टाइम में एक रोटेशन कंप्लीट करती है? कितने टाइम में रोटेट करती है? एक रोटेशन कितने टाइम में कंप्लीट
24
होता है?
hours.
तो अभी सुबह उठोगे तो एक बार रोटेशन हो गई, अभी भी रोटेशन चल रही है इसकी, अभी भी रोटेशन चल रही है। शाम हो गई है, सुबह तो सूरज था, अब रोटेशन हो गई है। और क्या चीज है? द रोटेशन ऑफ अर्थ एंड प्रेजेंस ऑफ माउंटेन रेंजेस इन द पाथ ऑफ द विंड। कुछ जब विंड्स चलेंगी स्टूडेंट, विंड्स चलेंगी, तो जब विंड चलेंगी अर्थ की रोटेशन है, और क्या होते हैं, माउंटेन रेंजेस हैं। आप इन योर ओन कंट्री आल्सो देखा कैसा रीजन है, माउंटेन रेंजेस कहाँ पर है आपके कंट्री में?
towards the north.
तो वो कौन कौन से माउंटेन रेंजेस हैं? बड़े बड़े पहाड़ हैं आपके पास, कौन से हैं? कौन सी पीक्स हैं आपके पास?
Kanchenjunga, Mount Everest.
तो ये सब इतनी बड़ी बड़ी पीक टकराएंगी विंड्स के, तो क्या होगा? ये भी उनके रास्ते में आएंगी। इन द पास ऑफ द विंड आर द फैक्टर्स। लेकिन वो कह रहा है विल नॉट गो डिटेल, बट इन दिस चैप्टर व्हाट डू यू थिंक अबाउट हाउ डू द प्रेजेंस ऑफ हिमालय चेंज द फ्लो ऑफ द विंड फ्लोइंग फ्रॉम इलाहाबाद टुवर्ड्स द नॉर्थ? अब ये ज्योग्राफिकल क्वेश्चन आ गया, तो आपको पहले मैप देखना पड़ेगा। देख के बताओ क्या क्या आंसर है इसका, क्या होगा फिर? व्हाट विल हैपन स्टूडेंट? व्हाट आर द रोटेशन ऑफ द अर्थ? उससे क्या होता है कि विंड की डायरेक्शन बदल जाएगी स्टूडेंट्स। तो ये क्या करेंगे कि जो डायरेक्शन होनी चाहिए वो अब चेंज हो गई। भाई बिकॉज एक तो अर्थ रोटेट कर रही है, दूसरा माउंटेन रेंजेस आ गई, तो उससे क्या होगा, जो डायरेक्शन है वो चेंज हो जाएगी। सो वी विल से ही सेज कि थिंक हाउ डू द प्रेजेंस ऑफ हिमालय चेंज द फ्लो ऑफ विंड ब्लोइंग फ्रॉम इलाहाबाद टुवर्ड्स द नॉर्थ। ये होमवर्क है स्टूडेंट, क्योंकि इसमें थोड़ी मैप, वी हैव टू सी द मैप। मैप देख के ही आप बता सकते हैं कि कहाँ पर इलाहाबाद है और कहाँ हिमालय है, तो कैसे जो विंड्स की डायरेक्शन है वो चेंज हो जाएगी। तो डायरेक्शन ऑफ द विंड्स का अभी तक हमने जो बताया वो अनइवन हीटिंग है मेन फैक्टर। क्या बताया मैंने? अनइवन हीटिंग है। तो मेन टेक अवे हमारा क्या है स्टूडेंट की क्वेश्चन ये था कि व्हाई द विंड्स ब्लो। तो आपने कहा बिकॉज ऑफ अनइवन हीटिंग ऑफ द एयर what will happen, there will be regions of low pressure and high pressure. The air will move from high pressure to low pressure. तो मेन था कि कोस्टल एरियाज में क्या होता है, वेयर देयर इज अ सी, तो सी ब्रीज होती है और लैंड ब्रीज होती है। सी ब्रीज कब होती है, मॉर्निंग में या इवनिंग में?
Morning.
और इवनिंग रात को क्या होती है, नाइट में?
Land breeze.
लैंड ब्रीज। उसका रीजन हमने देख लिया कि वेयर द लैंड बिकम्स hot faster than the water. This you will study in the next. The specific heat of water is very large. अगर वाटर इतना हीट अप हो जाता तो क्या स्टोरी होती, उड़ी जाता फिर सारा, तो वो एब्जॉर्ब कर लेता है बहुत सारी हीट। टेम्परेचर वेरिएशन इतना नहीं होता वाटर में। और अगर सोचिए कि एयर अगर बैड कंडक्टर ऑफ हीट नहीं होती तो फिर क्या होता, तो फिर तो हीट की ट्रांसमिशन हो जाएगी। तो कैन वी मेंटेन द टेम्परेचर ऑफ द
No, sir.
अर्थ? No. If we cannot maintain the temperature of the earth, if there is a very high and large increase and decrease in temperature variation, बहुत ज्यादा हो जाएगी, तो क्या होगा फिर? Tell me what will happen? Will the life will be there?
No, sir.
Then the question was asked, why will there be life on moon?
No, sir.
क्या आंसर दिया फिर आपने? Why?
Because sir, temperatures there are very low, and they range from minus 110 degrees to 110 degrees Celsius.
तो उसका रीजन क्या बताया? Why such a high variation in temperature takes place on moon? ये क्वेश्चन आया था पेपर में स्टूडेंट। Why such a high variation takes place on moon?
Because of no atmosphere.
No atmosphere. This is very important. No atmosphere. All right, student. This is the first part we have studied. We will continue in the next part. What other things like rain and all those is a very interesting topic, very important. And then we will meet you in the next class for the next topic will be rains, how they are formed, and what type of in our own country where you have a heaviest rainfall, and all these will be discussed in the next topic. All right, then we see you next time. Bye bye.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.